What's up, y'all? Shook here, back with another video on the Hpriest, doing some 2v2. This is Dragonflight Season 3. These matches are from Week 3 of the season. I'm playing with Plum on his Demon Hunter, and this is the build that I'm currently running. I did try out Lightweaver build, which is what I was running in the first season, and it's not very good. I think Hpriest in general has just kind of fallen behind. You know, originally I had it as kind of mid-tier on the healers, but now it's really fallen to like the worst healer, especially with the bump to Holy Paladin's mana. You know, you just kind of fall behind on mana. It kind of runs into the same problem that Holy Paladins had at the beginning of the season. So these are the PvP talents that I'm running. This slot is the one that I swap stuff out of. Sometimes I'll run Seraphic Crescendo, sometimes I will run Holy Ward, sometimes I'll run Ray of Hope, and these are the ones that are kind of set in stone. You're going to want to take these every single time. And currently I'm rank 64, and these matches take place between like 1700 and 1900 MMR. That's about all I have to say about the build, so let's get into the games. Alright, so this first game is Assassination Rogue and a Disc Priest. It's really important to not let them get the sap. Right here, I'm kind of hanging a little bit too close, but I do get stunned. I'm going to get feared off this, and ideally I want to be able to sit, so Plum is going to use his stun on both the Disc and the Rogue. So as soon as he connects, I'm going to want to give him Power Infusion so he can kind of get extra damage rolling. They give Power Infusion to each other, and I'm going to want to purge that off the Rogue here in just a second. Right there, I just purged it and got it off. And he still has his. I have Fear, but I want to try and get a double Fear. And they do Smoke Bomb here, which is really, really good for us. That means that I can use Spirit of the Redeemer and not be worried about it, so I do go ahead and use it. He also uses Ultimate Penitence, and keep in mind that's like a 4-minute cooldown or something like that. So you always want to hold your Spirit of the Redeemer until he's already Smoke Bomb, because it'll just put you in a really awkward position. He grips his Rogue back, and right here he does get a double stun, and I stun off that. I'm just trying to put as much pressure as I can, so we almost take down the Disc there. He does blind me. I don't have Trinket for it. I could have Death the Blind, but right here I'm trying to get close enough. I do stun him, and he immuned the stun, and I do let Plum get a little bit low, so I need to stop and heal him a little bit. I got 2 ticks of the Divine Hymn, and I got Precog. So right here I'm still just trying to kind of pick Plum up because we do have all the pressure. There's Dome rolling, and we still have Swap, and we have 12 seconds coming back up on Guardian. I do juke his kick again, and I double fear them, and it looks like we got the Rogue's Trinket off that, and the Priest kind of just broke from damage. So right here I do get gouged, and Plum uses Darkness. It's a really good Darkness. I go ahead and swap, and I heal myself a little bit. He's sticking on Plum, so I do go ahead and Guardian him to kind of negate some damage, and I'm not worried about dispelling off that Mind Games just at the moment. I'm going to try and pop a little bit of damage on the Rogue just to kind of make the Priest think that we want him. He does gouge me. I'm going to fear off that stun, and right here we should be able to finish off the Rogue. So I do go ahead and Shadow Word Death. I have Greater Fate available, and I definitely could have Greater Fated that Fear, but I was trying to be a little bit greedy, so that was really unnecessary, and it put a lot of risk that we didn't need. We do end up taking down the Rogue, but yeah, that Greater Fate was really, really greedy. I could have just done it and dodged the Fear, but alright, so next up is the Beast Mastery Hunter and the Disc Priest. I get the Fear before I get stunned. He's going to trap me, and notice how Plum stuns the Hunter as soon as I'm trapped. We just want to negate as much CC as possible. So right here I can decide whether to Trinket, but he does scatter Plum, so I'm not really too worried about it. I am going to Guardian him since he popped Bestial Wrath and a lot of his damage, and Plum has the whole zoo chasing behind him. And I'm kind of waiting for a good spot, so I do go ahead and Spirit of the Redeemer right here out in the open, and Plum's doing a lot of damage to him. You see them throw the trap on me. I call it out, and then I grip Plum into the trap so he can eat it, so I don't get hit with that when I come out of my Spirit of the Redeemer form. I'll also go ahead and pop Psyfiend here just for a little bit of extra pressure, and I want to try and stay as ahead on mana as I possibly can. He does stun the priest, and I think right here I'm going to re-stun the priest just because we have a ton of pressure. So it looks like he trinket swaps. Super, super good for us. So his trinket's on cooldown for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I go ahead and burn my trinket on that full trap right there just so they can't get their full CC chain. I do go ahead and fear the entire zoo. Now, the unfortunate part was Plum did use his interrupt there, so now he gets off the ultimate penitence. That was just us not communicating well. You know, I should have let him do the interrupt and me try and fear to use as an interrupt, but you know, I was trying to get the zoo on top of it, but definitely would have been better for me to just let him fear. I do go ahead and pop Guardian here. I don't have Greater Fade. I could have Death this fear, so that was a mistake right there. For some reason, I thought I had Greater Fade back up, but I didn't. I definitely should have death that fear. That was a big misplay on my part, and you can see we kind of fall behind because of that. Again, we do still have swap available, and we are, you know, a minute from having our big heals available. So I'm kind of just trying to play next to him so he can possibly eat some of the CC coming up. I do stun the priest, and I go ahead and fear. He has no trinket for like 20 something seconds. And he does trap me, but he is in turtle, so I mean, we don't really care about that. He's not going to be doing much. Only his pets are going to be doing damage while he's in turtle. We have 14 seconds on Spirit of the Redeemer, and again, we still have swap. If I do get interrupted, I am going to go ahead and swap, but it looks like I just went ahead and decided to do it early. You typically also want to use Des Repair after you swap, not before you swap, so kind of a blunder on my part. We do end up taking down the hunter, but man, that was kind of a sketchy one there. So I was running Schlorophic Crescendo, and I don't know, Ray of Hope might have been better in that scenario, just hard to tell. So right here is a Demon Hunter disc, and we are the Demon Hunter Holy Priest. So really the one thing we don't want to do is lose based on mana, so I have to use kind of my mana cooldown sparingly there. I'm going to fear the Demon Hunter. It looks like he's going to go for me. I do have Divine Ascension, so I can get away from him if I really need to. I'm going to try and speed over here to the Priest and try and kind of help Plum. He does get his double stun on him, and then I think, yeah, I'm not going to use my stun yet. And he's using his fear, so they're kind of just tooling, waiting around here. I'm going to go ahead and give Plum the PI since he is out of LOS of the Priest for a second. This guy uses his blur. I fear him, but the Priest gets around the corner to dispel him, so kind of a bad fear. I don't really like that fear. I'm going to Divine Ascension here, and one of the things about Divine Ascension, I go ahead and purge Plum because he was in an MC, and I can't quite dispel his fear. And he's going to Mind Games. I dispel it instantly off me. You know, I think they really want me as the kill target, but Holy Priest, if you choose the correct PvP talents, you can be difficult to kill as long as you have mana. So right here we do get their darkness, which is a pretty big cooldown. I don't know if we've gotten both of their pain suppressions, but hopefully we can get one right here. He does get feared, and I was too slow with the dispel on that fear. That was really unfortunate. Demon Hunter does get me low. I need to get Plum out of that. I'd get a double fear instead. So right here is where I probably should have played a little bit more aggressive, but he does take him down anyway. So Plum really just played that one better than I did. Had too many mistakes in that match, but we ended up winning anyway. But yeah. So, oh, this was a fun one. So this was the Outlaw Rogue Preservation Evoker. I really like that people are running like different comps. I do go ahead and Divine Ascension because he put the Oppressive Roar on me, and my Dispel is on cooldown for like 4 more seconds. So what that Oppressive Roar does is it increases the amount of CC you take by like 30% for the next little bit. I'm trying to purge the Preservation Evoker as much as I can. He's really going to be the kill target in this comp, and you see he pops his scales, and we're still doing a decent bit of damage. I'm going to give myself Guardian, and we're going to get the double stun there, and he can't be slowed when he's hovering, so you can see that buff that he has on him for like 17 seconds. Whenever that's going, he cannot be slowed. Emerald Communion, as long as we're doing damage to both targets, it's not really as effective. He's also DRing me on the stun when he does that. So keep in mind, I can use Spirit of the Redeemer to kind of keep myself alive as well. But yeah, the Preservation Evoker is definitely our kill target in this scenario. Once he kind of runs out of cooldowns, they're kind of susceptible to, you know, just being killed, honestly. I do get holy locked there, but I'm not really worried about it because I went super low. I'm trying to purge off his hots as much as I can, and we get the essence break on him. I do go ahead and pop Desperate Prayer there. I'm just playing as aggressive as possible and trying to get as much spread pressure as possible. I do go ahead and Divine Him, and it looks like we're going to get the full stack of Divine Him there, which is really nice. And I want to get a double fear if I can, and I do get it. The rogue gets feared around the corner, and I don't think, yeah, there's second scales. I think this is where I probably pop Guardian. Yeah, I go ahead and pop Guardian, but he does swap instantly. No, he's just trying to peel. So kind of an interesting, we're almost even on mana, but I haven't used Spirit of the Redeemer yet, which is a really big mana cooldown. And if I do get super low, keep in mind that I can use Divine Ascension to like fly into the air to use Symbol of Hope to get the full 15% back. Right here we do get the kill on the rogue, which normally doesn't happen. Anytime we fight a preservation team, normally the preservation is going to be the kill target, so that was kind of an odd one. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed these games. Let me know what healers you're playing. I have to say, Holy Priest definitely feels pretty weak. I think Sub-Rogue Holy Priest is probably the best comp, but yeah, I'm going to keep pushing. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, helps me out a ton, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.